All right, it's 6 p.m., so let's go ahead and begin. So finding your way onto your yoga mat, any props that you would like to grab for class, go ahead and get them. My name is, of course, Megan, so thanks for joining. We'll practice for 45 minutes, featuring Goober, of course. So find your way to a comfortable seated position, whatever feels good. Maybe sitting cross-legged, and we'll focus first on the physical alignment here. So feeling whatever is touching the ground and allowing yourself to feel grounded, secure, safe, and supported. And the spine is lengthening up towards the ceiling, gently tucking your chin a little bit, and just letting your shoulders really relax and let go. And if you're having any trouble with your shoulders, feel free to hug them up to your ears on a nice big breath in. And then as you exhale, roll them down your back. And then find a place for your hands. So maybe they're just one on top of the other, gently resting in your lap, or perhaps they are on your knees. So having a really gentle grip through your fingertips, staying loose through your elbows. And we'll start this yoga practice, of course, by dialing into our breath. So our breath is sort of the anchor. It really helps keep us focused, present, just allows us to be the practice. Either gently closing the eyes or finding a point on the floor to gaze at. Taking a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then long, full exhale slowly out through the mouth. And so continue to do this breath at your pace. And as we're doing this mindful breathing, it's kind of tapping into our parasympathetic nervous system. So allowing ourselves to rest and digest, really begin to slow down and feel the moment. So if your brain and mind is still going, you can always bring it back by using the breath. Or another option is just dialing into one of your senses. So what do you smell? What do you feel? What do you hear? And maybe that can be a nice tool to bring you back to the present moment, not just in this yoga practice, but perhaps throughout the day, excuse me, or during challenging times. So let's do 3 more deep breaths in with long exhales out. And let them be really full, so there's no forcing or pushing or pulling. Lovely, and after that 3rd breath, gently blink your eyes open. And take a nice big full breath in, so still keeping your spine nice and tall up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and reach your arms up nice and high. Maybe you gaze up, fingertips to touch. And then a nice exhale out. Take a spinal twist to your right. So feeling a nice rotation through your spine. Not pulling with your left hand, and just notice if as you twist, if anything starts to tense or feel stuck. Like for me, I just noticed my foot kind of tensed up. So bringing my awareness there and just allowing it to sort of soften. So if there's any place for you in this pose to relax and dial in. Another deep breath in here. And big exhale, float your way back towards center. And we'll do that again. Nice big breath in, reaching your palms and arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhaling over to your left. Lots of the same cues here as we started saying, staying soft through your elbows, gentle in your fingertips, tucking the chin ever so slightly. And you can either close your eyes or find a gaze over that left shoulder to get a bit more of a twist. Big exhale brings you back to center. Place your right hand on the floor. We'll stretch over towards the right. So an inhale to reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale, reach over towards your right. We'll stay here for another breath. And then with intention, really make that exhale nice, long, and slow. Beautiful. Back up through center. Using an inhale to lengthen out all through that side body on the right. And let your exhale carry you over to your left. And as we're reaching through the right fingertips, engaged through that right arm. And enjoying a stretch through your right side. Another big breath in. Awesome. Exhale, let it go. Come back up through center. Big inhale, go ahead and reach your arms up towards the ceiling again. And on the exhale, interlace your hands and then press your palms up towards the ceiling. So we're kind of stretching out the armpits, pressing the palms up. Take a nice breath in. And then as you exhale, round in your spine, tuck your chin, press your palms forward. Again, using just another tool here to warm up the spine. As you inhale, go ahead and straighten the spine, press your palms up, nice. And exhale, round in your spine. And one more time. Inhale, straighten out, nice long spine. Exhale, round in your spine, so you're squeezing your belly button towards your spine. Engaging through the arms, pressing the palms forward. And an inhale to reach the arms up. And as you exhale, let's release out of this. So bend your elbows and bring your hands to the base of your skull. This is helping open up the front of the body. If you'd like to get a front of the neck and throat area opening, you can start to lift your chin up if that feels okay on your neck. Nice, slow exhale. Find your way out of that. We'll warm up the neck here. So right ear, right shoulder. Gently tucking the chin a little bit here if you'd like. And then dropping the chin towards the chest so the back of the neck is lengthening out. And then left ear, left shoulder. And tucking the chin a little bit. So this is really great for people who are sitting at desks or driving a lot, on their phone a lot. And then bring the head back up towards center. Okay, let's find our way into our child's pose. Child's pose is sort of like another anchor. It's always a home-based pose. That's always an option for you at any point during a yoga practice. Allow yourself to settle into it. Feel and check in with your body, with your breath, with your joints. How's everything feeling? Let your forehead come into contact with the mat. And if it's not quite there, you can use your hands or a block. See if you can let an exhale sort of relax you down a bit more so the chest is dropping down towards the mat. Your hips are sinking back towards your heels. And notice the muscles of the face, if there's any tension there, or through the jaw, which can happen sometimes. Awesome, and from your child's pose, we'll come into our first downward facing dog. So fingertips spread nice and wide at about shoulder width distance apart. Curl your toes under, bring your knees in closer towards one another so they're hips width distance apart. Press into your finger pads, lift your hips up nice and high. Stay soft through your elbows and be gentle here as you lift up into this pose. So a nice bend through the knees, maybe really lifting the heels away from the mat to begin. Or maybe not, it's your practice, so you get to decide how you move through the poses, into the poses, and out of them. Sometimes shaking your head out can feel really nice here. Shaking it yes and no. In downward facing dog, the arms are really engaged, and this will help pull the weight out of the wrists. And of course, always welcome to bring in breath. So if we'd like to, on an inhale, lift your heels up high away from the mat. And then as you exhale, slowly start to descend the heels down towards the ground. So this will be opening up the backs of the legs, the calf muscles. If it feels too tight, keep that soft bend through your knees. Let's take a nice inhale and roll forward to a high plank. So stay nice and active through your core. Keep your gaze just between your two hands. Pressing the earth away from you. Lifting the backs of the legs up towards the ceiling. You can always drop your knees here. We'll just stay for 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Start to drop your knees down and we'll sink our hips down as well. Bend your elbows and flip onto the tops of your feet. So this will be a nice stretch through the front of your body. And as we move through Sun Salutations, this is an option for flowing kind of to an upward facing dog. So our hips are kind of gliding forward. We're pressing through the tops of our feet and our leg muscles. Hands are grounded down and the heart is lifting. Let's take a big exhale. Press your way back to your child's pose. So let your spine really lengthen out here. Reach your hands forward. And let that feel nice on your low back. And we'll keep it moving, so let's press up into our tabletop position. Again, walking the knees in a bit closer towards one another. And we like stacked things in yoga. So shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists. Fingertips spread nice and wide, and take some circles here with the hips. Maybe going from side to side. And then returning to your neutral tabletop position, we'll just float into some quick balancing here. Go ahead and lift your right foot up behind you, reaching towards the back edge of your mat. Flexing the right toes down. We want to square our hips so that the right and the left hip are both angled down towards the mat. So if that right hip starts to peel open, engage through the core and flex the right toes down towards the ground. Keeping your core engaged, starting to lift your left hand forward. So we are going to go to an exercise where we will move our left hand to the top left hand corner of the mat and your right foot to the back right corner of your mat. So starting in a nice straight line, take a breath in, back of the neck nice and long. And then as you exhale, go ahead and come slightly off center. So your left hand moves to the top left hand corner and that right leg out towards the right. Inhale, come back towards center. Stay engaged through your core. Exhale, slightly off center. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, slightly off center, reaching through your fingers and toes. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, drop your left hand down and we will come into a calf stretch. So bring this right foot to the back edge of your mat. Press into your hands. Keep your left knee down on the ground. And for a stretch, start working your right heel down towards the ground. Awesome. Bringing it back to your tabletop. Stretching it out and then preparing for the other side. So nice and active through the core, pressing the earth away from you. Gaze is between the two hands. Lift your left leg up and stretch behind you. Notice if your left hip starts to peel open. Flexing your left toes down towards the ground. And from here, reaching your right arm forward. So we've got a nice straight line of energy here. Reaching through your right fingertips, really lengthen out. We'll do the same exercise on this side. Take a breath in. And then exhale, come slightly off center. Your right arm going to the top right-hand corner of your mat. And that left leg out towards the left. Inhale, come back towards center. And exhale, slightly off center. Stay with a nice steady breath. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, slightly off center. And inhale back to center. We'll come into that calf stretch. So drop your right hand right below the right shoulder. Keep the left leg nice and long. Bring the toes to the back edge of the mat and work the heel towards the ground. Kind of press into your hands here if you'd like to get a bit of a deeper stretch. Lovely. Come on back to your tabletop. Let's take a nice stretch into puppy pose. So we're actually going to reach your arms forward. So your hips will stay right above your knees. And this will maybe just feel good on the arms since they were just working pretty hard keeping us in that tabletop. So this can be a big stretch for your shoulders. The forehead can come down towards the ground or on a block. Hands can either be on your mat or if you'd like to tense the fingertips, that is also an option. And then finding your way out of that puppy pose, return to your tabletop. We'll bring ourselves into a low lunge. So slide your right foot forward between your two hands. Keeping your left knee down, align your right foot so that your ankle is right underneath your knee. We'll come into a twist on either side, so leave your left hand down on the ground. Inhale as you twist your right arm up towards the ceiling. And from here, you have the option to come into a half bind. So if you'd like to have your right hand come to your low back, that will be a nice opening for your right shoulder if that feels okay. On your next exhale, gently bring your right hand back down towards the ground, and we'll twist and go to the other side. Inhale, twist and reach. And then same option here if you'd like to come into a half bind. So the back of the left hand comes to the low back. And the gaze is maybe up at the ceiling or just straight ahead. Awesome. Exhale, bring that left hand back down. Let's shift our way back into a runner's stretch. So we're going to straighten through our front leg, right toes flex towards the face. So it's like someone is pulling our hips to the back edge of the mat, and we're reaching forward with our heart and sternum as we reach towards that right foot. So for a deeper stretch, you can fold your upper body over the right leg. And from a restorative pose, you can stay lifted in the upper body, maybe using blocks under your hands. Awesome. Start to crawl your way back towards that low lunge position. From here, let's bring both of your hands to the top of your right knee. And so we're kind of pressing into this left knee and lifting a bit out of our lower half. Still feeling a little bit of a stretch through your left quadricep. Gently place your hands back down on either side of the right foot. Tuck your back toe under if it isn't already, and we're going to lift the back knee up. So from here, if your balance is feeling a little off, feel free to adjust yourself as needed. And one option for that would be moving your right foot out towards the edge of your mat. Make sure your toes are facing directly forward, and then power up through the core. We're going to lift in the upper body. So we're kind of in a modified crescent lunge here. Back leg is nice and strong. Heel is lifted up and away from the mat. So all 10 toes are facing forward. Nice exhale as you let your shoulders relax. Option to stay looking directly forward, or if you'd like, left hand to the top of your right knee, back of the right hand to the low back, and we can take a gentle twist to the right. Really strong through our lower half, really connected through the feet. Legs are super powerful and turned on. Another breath in. And let's exhale, bring the hands back down, a hand on either side of the foot, and drop that left knee back down. From here, bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Walk the right foot out towards the edge of the mat. We'll drop into a nice hip opening just for a short moment. So option to drop down to your forearms. This will be a bit of a deeper stretch. So if that's feeling like too much, stay lifted in your hands. And you can stay still, or you can kind of turn from side to side and feel maybe some different muscles turn on, getting stretched out. And then lifting back up onto your hands if you hadn't already. We're going to bring our right leg back behind. We'll flow right through tabletop. And let's lift your hips up nice and high. Come into a downward facing dog. Letting that chest press back towards your thighs. Big breath in. Exhale your breath out. Inhale, roll forward to a high plank. Exhale, drop your knees and lower your hips. So we're just coming right back into sort of this upward facing dog. Kind of just rolling around, tops of the feet are on the ground. And from here, let's press into the hands. Hips come up and back, rest in child's pose for 3 breaths. Nice little reset moment there. Go ahead and bring yourself back up to your tabletop position. Again, bring those knees in a bit closer towards one another. And begin to slide your left foot forward. So left foot between the 2 hands. Left ankle is right underneath the left knee. We'll come into our twists here. So leave your right hand down on the ground. Take an inhale, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Option for that half bind. So that will get a bit of a deeper stretch through the shoulder. Awesome. As you exhale, go ahead, lower your left hand back down and go to the other side. Big inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Option for a half bind. If this feels painful, definitely come out of it. Lovely. Exhale, bring that right hand back down. Both hands down on the ground. Tuck your back toe under and shift back to your runner stretch. The gaze in your runner stretch should just be maybe down at the ground or at your left knee. No need to be looking up or at the ceiling or doing anything that might cause any pain to the neck. And begin to bend that left knee, bring the left foot to the floor. We're going to shift into bringing our hands onto the top of the left knee. So as we do this, really press into that left foot and lift a bit out of the hips. So not so much a hip opening stretch, more of kind of like a strengthening pose. So using the core to help lift you up. Awesome. From here, we're going to shift this back knee up if you'd like. So the toes stay under, lift your right knee up. And then take your time with this as you build it. So if the balance isn't feeling good here, separate the feet a bit more. Really strong through the legs. This back heel is lifted up. It's kind of like pressing, pushing this right hip forward. Option to stay looking straight ahead or coming into a little bit of a twist. So the twist, the right hand will stay on your left knee Back of the left hand to the low back. As you exhale, gently twist. Finding something still that you can focus on. Listening to the breath and staying grounded. Awesome. Exhale. Come back through center. Gently place your hands back down. Lower that back leg. We'll bring our left hand to the inside of the left foot. We'll drop into a nice hip opening. So on the hip opening stretches, see if you can really exhale and sink and melt the hips down. So this is the difference between that other pose we were just doing. We were trying to kind of lift more so up and out of our hips. Dropping down to the forearms if you'd like for a bit of a deeper stretch, just for a breath. And then pressing into your hands, straightening through the arms. Let's shift this left foot back to a tabletop position. And let's shift back to child's pose. Just one more time here. 3 long breaths in and out. Rest your forehead down. All right, from your child's pose, go ahead and lift up, nice downward facing dog. We'll move our way into some half sun salutation. So either walk, step, or jump your feet forward to your hands. You can either bring your big toes to touch or separate the feet a bit more, like maybe 3 or 4 inches, whatever feels better for your balance. Use a breath in, we'll come into a halfway lift. Heart pulls forward, keeping a soft bend through your knees. Back of the neck nice and long. Exhale as you fold forward. And again, inhale, lift halfway. Just warming up the spine a bit here. Core is engaged as you lift halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Back of the neck nice and long. Shoulders pull away from your ears. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Engage through the legs. We'll roll all the way up. So as much time as you need or want. Standing up nice and tall. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up, pressing the hips forward. And exhaling, hands to heart center. If you'd like, close your eyes down here for a moment. You want to stay lifted through the core, relax through your shoulders, and relax through the muscles of your face. Pressing through your feet, open the eyes big. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And big exhale to fold forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, release and fold. And we'll keep moving. Inhale, press through your feet, rise all the way up. Arms reach up overhead. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Big inhale, press through your feet. Rise and lift up. One more time here for the half sun salutations. Big exhale, fold forward. So as you fold, keep a soft bend through your knees. Working on the spine, staying nice and long. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Use the inhale, rise all the way up. Big inhale, lifting and reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale as you fold. Okay, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, we'll step back to our high plank. So always have the option to drop your knees in your high plank. Core is nice and engaged. Gaze is just between the 2 hands. On your exhale, start to lower down all the way. So bending through the elbows, squeezing the elbows in towards the ribs. Flip onto the tops of your feet. Inhaling to a cobra pose. Just doing a gentle lift through the upper body. Or coming back into that upward facing dog. So we're onto the tops of the feet. Staying soft through your elbows. And just kind of gazing forward, maybe a little up if you'd like. And then on your exhale, start to shift your hips back, curl over the toes, and lift into downward facing dog. Ooh, feel a nice stretch through the legs. Shake your head out. Another breath in. Exhale, bring your feet to your hands by either stepping, jumping, or walking. And we'll do that again. Inhale to your halfway lift. Just gently through the hands, press on the shins. Heart lifts forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through your feet and rise up. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale to fold. And inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bring your hands down and step back to your high plank. Nice and powerful through the legs. Exhale, find your low plank. Keeping the core engaged, flip onto the tops of your feet. See if you can take that next inhale, float into your upward facing dog or cobra pose. And exhale, back downward facing dog. Working on straightening through your knees in your downward facing dog. If you'd like a bit of a deeper stretch. And we'll go through that Sun Salutation one more time. So go ahead, feet to your hands. Big breath in, lift halfway. And exhale, let it go. Next inhale, rise all the way up. Arms reach up overhead. Maybe you gaze up, really press through your feet. Awesome. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, find that high plank. Really press the mat away from you. Exhale to your low plank. Keep squeezing your elbows in towards your ribs. Inhale to that upward facing dog or cobra pose. So heart is opening. And exhale back, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Let's find our way to a high plank. We'll work on some more heart openers here. So slowly start to lower down from your plank pose. Flip onto the tops of your feet. Reach your arms back behind you by your sides. We'll come into locust pose. So we've got palms face down. We want to zipper everything up. So if you can bring your big toes to touch, squeeze your inner thighs together. Shoulder blades will lift together. We'll squeeze in towards one another. And as you inhale, slowly see what you can peel up off the mat. So if you'd like to just start with lifting the heart up. So we're engaging the back muscles. And then to go further, lifting the feet and legs. And then maybe lifting your arms and hands. Stay with that nice steady breath for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release, let it go. Drop down. And one more time for locust pose. I think some people also maybe call this Superman. So go ahead on your inhale, peel and lift up. Another option here would be interlacing your hands together at your low back. So that will be an opening through your shoulders. Another inhale to lift. Big exhale, let it go, drop down. Awesome. Bring your arms out to a T position. Bend your knees and just start to let your feet fall to the right and then to the left. Kind of just giving a nice little rub to the low back. And then place your feet and legs on the floor. Bring your hands in. Let's press into an upward facing dog. Be nice and gentle. Awesome. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. And again, bring your feet up towards your hands and let's lower down. So we'll come into some seated forward folds. Do you smell food? Legs out long in front of you. Flex your toes towards your face, lifting up through the spine. And if you'd like, inhale, let the arms reach up overhead. And as you exhale, nice and slowly reach for the feet. If you've got the feet, feel free to kind of pull your toes towards your face. That will give you a stretch through your Achilles and those calf muscles. And then a nice little switch up here is bringing your right hand to the pinky edge side of the left foot and the left hand to the pinky edge side of the right foot. And on your exhale, just slowly find your way on out of that. We'll come into a seated tree, so bending your right leg, bring the right sole of your foot into your left leg. Reaching the arms up on an inhale. Again, spines lengthening up towards the ceiling, reaching through your fingertips. And as you exhale, folding and reaching for the left foot. Bringing yourself back up and switching your sides. So letting your right leg lengthen out, bend that left leg. And an inhale to lengthen, reaching and flexing the right toes towards your face as you exhale, fold and reach for your foot. And bringing yourself back up. Bring the soles of the feet gently together. You can always use pillows here to stack underneath your knees. Let the shoulders relax. Nice big breath in. And an exhale, if you'd like to fold in the upper body. Notice if your shoulders start kind of hiking up a little bit towards the ears, like mine just did. And just check in and see where you can stay soft. Lovely. Go ahead and lengthen the legs out again. Maybe give them a little shake. And we're going to roll all the way down. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. We'll come into pigeon pose to help stretch out the glute muscle. So bending the right knee, bring your right ankle to the top of your left knee. And interlacing your hands behind that left hamstring, pull the left leg in closer towards you for a deeper stretch. Finding your way out of that, lowering the foot and switching your sides. So keep your low back pressing into the mat. And to get a deeper stretch through your left glute, in this instance, you could use your left elbow and just a little bit kind of pressing against, kind of pressing the left knee out away from the chest. And that will give you a bit of a deeper stretch through your left glute. And at the same time that you're doing that, your hands are interlaced at the back of your right leg, at the hamstring, pulling your right leg towards you. And gently unwind from that. Hug both knees in. Arms wrap around your shins. Press your low back down. And waterfall, lift your feet straight up towards the ceiling. Hands either maybe fall out towards the edges on the ground, or maybe they stay on your belly. And then again, bring a bend to your knees, squeeze the knees in towards your chest. Leave your right knee squeezing in, we'll shift into a spinal twist. So extend your left leg, let it rest on the floor. Right knee squeezes into the right shoulder as you inhale. And on your exhale, guide your right leg up and over. So rolling onto the side of your left leg, sort of where your IT band is. Work on shoulders staying grounded down. And your gaze is either up at the ceiling or over towards your right shoulder. Rolling your way back towards center. Going to the other side, so either squeezing both knees in towards the chest, or just squeezing that left knee into your left shoulder. Extend your right leg and let it be on the floor. On your exhale, guide your left leg up and over. So this spinal twist also kind of gives you a nice stretch through the low back and glute area. To keep the rotation going, keep your shoulders down on the ground, bring your gaze over your left shoulder. And then back to center. We'll go right into our Shavasana. So if you'd like to just squeeze the knees into the chest, or take a happy baby, if there's any other pose that is calling to you. As you find your way into your final resting pose, see if you can clear the mind, clear the brain, let yourself be free of distractions for just a couple moments. Let the eyes close. Check in, see where you can soften. And then from the stillness of your resting pose, start bringing in some slow, easy movements, rolling the ankles in some circles and maybe your wrists. And letting the head and neck maybe drop to the right shoulder and then up over to the left shoulder. In your time, let's work our way up to a comfortable seated position. And just check in with how you feel, hopefully relaxed and lighter and kind of a bit more quiet. Sitting up nice and tall, big inhale, reaching your arms up towards the ceiling, lengthen, reach up. And let the exhale, bring the hands towards heart center and relaxing your shoulders. Through the nose, deep breath in. And then long exhale out through the mouth slowly. May you invite in peace, love, and joy. Namaste. Thank you for practicing and joining. Hopefully you're feeling great. Hydrate yourself, and I'll see you next week.